because they're providing more
Is that
value to the
one?
marketplace.
Is that one of the things that differentiates your coaching students who become successful from those who don't? Is the ability to overcome that fear and try things they haven't done before?
Absolutely. Like what I tell clients all the time is if you take a sheet of paper and you draw a vertical line right down the middle of the page, so you have left and right. On the left side, you'd write the words E for the letter E for intelligence. For emotions. E on the left, emotions, and on the right, I, intelligence. So we're either talking about emotions as a client, or we're over here on intelligence. Now, if we're talking about emotions, we're always talking about, fears and problems and, how come this and how come that and complaining and, all that kind of stuff. And so we're on that side of the page. You usually don't make any money on that side of the page. On the other side of the page, the I side of the page, when I'm talking about statistics and, what we need to do to tweak the headline and how do we get more traffic and how do we get that podcast into more people's hands and, those actual specific things are intelligence on the I side of the page. The clients of mine that spend more of their time with me and themselves in their business and their journey on the I side of the page make more money. But that's not the case. Most of the time, people spend all their time on the E side of the page, which we're kind of doing in this call, but that's because it's the most important thing there is, because it's not the I side of the page that's actually preventing them from making money. It's the E side of the page because they're not doing any of the I stuff because of their fears and problems and issues and, all kinds of stuff. I get clients and they're like, Eric, I just don't know what to do. I know I need to get the squeeze page up and pick a niche, but, I don't feel good. I'm kind of depressed. My goldfish died. My motorcycle's not working. And, the light went out in my kitchen. And I'm just like, well, we could talk about that, but you still got to get your squeeze page up, You still got to get the traffic coming. You still got to pick a niche. So it's one of those things that, like even me working out with a private, trainer, personal trainer, my mind gets flooded with all kinds of excuses all the time. Like, it's amazing if I'm just aware of that. It's just like my mind's just constantly creating barriers that prevents me from going in there and sweating, getting my butt kicked for a whole hour, It's like, it's amazing to me what my mind does. And there's been a couple of times where I've texted my trainer and said, hey man, I can't go in today. I got some stuff that came up or whatnot, which is complete, I feel like I was calling in sick to work. And then he's all, it's cool, thanks, man. And that day, like, all those feelings and stuff just zip, gone. The minute I said, like, I'm not going to come in today, like, my stomach ache went away, my headache went away. It's like, it's all mental because my mind's jacking with me because it doesn't want to go in there and work because it's uncomfortable for me because I'm not in shape, right?
Yeah.
Because it took 10 years of eating out to put these pounds on, so it's not going to come off overnight. So same thing in business. So many clients and people out there are like, I know I need to do this, but, and they list them out, goldfish died, light went out in the kitchen, garbage piling up, cars getting repossessed, all this stuff, man, instead of actually doing the tasks that's required. That's mindset. That's pure mindset. I'll tell you, like, one of the best things I ever learned was from, not Dan Kennedy, Dan Sullivan. And Dan Sullivan said that there's 4 C's, right? The first C is courage. So this is the 4 C's to succeed at anything. The first C is courage. That's so true. Oh, no, I'm sorry. The first C is commitment. So the first C is commitment. You got to commit that you're going to even do something. So for me, my commitment was I walked into this fitness place here in my town and I said, I need to start getting in shape, working out. And, I didn't even know what the price was. I was already signed up. I didn't care. It was like, when do we start? And that was a commitment. Where before I didn't make that commitment. My wife talked to me about it all the time. I'm like, well, I'm eating right. I'm going to count my calories. I'm going to ride the bike. I'm going to get a gym membership. And I've tried it all. And it wasn't until I finally said, okay, fine. I'm going to walk in there. I'm going to commit to this. I'm going to do it. I walked in there, committed on the spot in just a second. And then presto, I'm so thankful I did. It's completely changed my life. I'm starting to get muscles and stuff. It's amazing. I'm going to be a hot dude. The other thing, like with my call center I had too, like back in the day, me and Mike talked about doing this Mike talked about doing this call center for months. And then finally in one day, I rented the office, bought the phone system, set up the cable, set up the electricity, bought some cubicles, hired some guys to put them together. I mean, all in like a day, even though it took months to talking about it, until one day I just said, screw it. And I just went out there and just bam, once I made that full commitment, there was no turning back. And then that call center was popping 100 grand a week, so it was like,
Nice.
I mean, what if I never would have done that? I mean, I would have never experienced that. And this is an amazing experience. So the first C is commitment. Got to commit, big time commitment. And the second C is courage. The second C is really the most important one in my opinion, because that's what we've been talking about. People, they get knocked down. Any sign of adversity that shows up, and they're just done. They move on to something else. And that adversity is, I mean, that's the key is to have courage to go through that adversity and plow through it. So you're like, I tried to drive some traffic, and my pay-per-click on Facebook is not converting very well. It's costing me a fortune, and I'm just done with this. I'll move on to something else. Write articles. Well, that was a mistake, because if you just stick to it, you'll figure out things like maybe you need to turn off the audience network. I mean, that was a mistake I made. I mean, I made it more than once. I'm like, man, none of this is convert. Oh wait, I forgot to turn off the audience network, because the audience network is a bunch of garbage traffic right now. So there, if someone sticks to that with courage and intelligence, knowing that if they stick to it, eventually they're gonna get really good at it, or they can hire someone to do it. Whatever they need to get it done. Then they come out the other end of courage. So that's phase 2 is courage. It takes courage to do anything new and to make anything work. And this is where 90% of marketers out there, or business owners, or whoever, that's where they give up, fail, move on to something else. Then the third C is capabilities. So once and we talked about this yesterday on a call, but once you create new value within yourself, like let's say it took you courage to start doing webinars, and it's scary to do webinars in front of 1,000 people, and you're doing public speaking and all that, but you do it anyway. Well, that's having courage to do that. So now you have a new capability, which that new capability is the ability to do webinars, which is an explosive way to generate revenue, because you get people to know, like, and trust you. We could do a whole call just on webinars. Heck, we could do a whole week's worth of calls on webinars, because it's that big of a topic. But then someone starts doing webinars. Now they have a new capability, is the ability to do webinars. See how that works? But it took courage in order to get that new ability. Now they have a new ability. Now they have more value that they can provide the marketplace, and they have more value with them. They've become more themselves. So then now money starts coming in, more money, right? And they're like, where's this money been all my life? Well, it was waiting for you to have courage. It was waiting for you to have the commitment, to have the courage, and then comes the capabilities. And then what you do with those capabilities is next, because like I have the capabilities to do webinars. I could do them in my sleep, but I'm not doing them right now. At the time we're recording this. Well, that's dumb. We're starting next week. I have the capabilities, but I'm not using the capabilities, you see? So we'll start using those capabilities more, and it's just a slam dunk that more revenue will come. And then the last final one is confidence. The last C is confidence. And that's brilliant, because people think that you need confidence at the beginning. Like people, like clients will tell me, Eric, well, I don't have the confidence to do that. Well, neither did I. Neither did anyone else on the planet. When they first did it, it takes confidence. I mean, it takes courage, right? Commitment and courage to do it. And later on, after you've done 1,000 webinars or 1,000 interviews or 1,000 speaking on stages, then it doesn't require as much courage, and it always requires a little bit of courage, but not as much courage, because now you have the capabilities and the confidence to do it. That's the way it is with everything: weight loss, relationships, making money, investing, you name it. It's always those same 4 C's, which is what I learned from Dan Sullivan, which is just brilliant for a way to live your life, because it's true.
Yeah, and one thing I've heard Dan talk about that same stuff, and he says the difference between courage and confidence is that confidence feels amazing. Confidence is like one of the best feelings in the world, and courage, feels crappy. It's like it's a bad feeling. It's uncomfortable. But if you're willing to get through that uncomfortableness and persevere, like you said, that's when you start getting results and you start improving and becoming more than you were before.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really sounds a little simple, but it's nothing. But it's nothing. It's certainly not simple, in the sense that it takes us getting over ourselves. It takes us getting over, our barriers and our mental mush that gets in the way. And that really is all it is, because it doesn't. I mean, another thing I tell people is, like, people think that there's like 1,000 things they need to do in order to, make a lot of money online, or double their revenue in their business. There's never 1,000 things to do. If there was 1,000 things to do, then, the billionaires, business owners, wouldn't be billionaire business owners, because they only have 24 hours in a day, just like we do. So there's not 1,000 different things you need to do. Just like I said, a small business owner, hey, we're stuck at 400,000. We need to get to 600,000. I mean, can you come in and we'll pay you, thousands and thousands of dollars to consult us and help us achieve this. In fact, we'll even give you half of the difference if you can get us to $600,000, or double our income, right? I'm like, okay, you guys aren't focusing on sales at all. Let's start focusing on sales. And they're like, how, right? Well, let's take all your inactives, all your past customers, and send them a letter. I'll start typing the letter now. I'll go buy the stamps. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a get it done, right? Just get her done. Just get the thing done, get it out there, do that thing, and all of a sudden more revenue comes in. You're like, man, we should have been doing this all this time. But we just hold ourselves back from doing the tasks to generate the revenue. It doesn't even need to be you or the owner doing a task. You can hire someone to do the task, and all of a sudden that changes your whole business. So it is what it is. But yeah, the courage part of success is everything. I mean, it really is. It takes risk to it takes going out on that limb to get the fruit.